ain't see me, you Stevie. Wondering how I reach more evolutions than Eevee and make it look easy.
What's up, Earth's mightiest subscribers? It's Blerd without fear. Welcome back to the channel. Okay, so today's video, I just kind of want to take a moment to sit down and talk to you guys about something that's been a little near and dear to my heart just in the past 24 hours that I've known that it was a thing. So in case you live under a rock, it is Black History Month, and I did a video a ways back talking about how I would put together my own all-black X-Men, and that video did pretty well for itself. And yeah, it's one of those things that I kind of did it mostly as a way to raise awareness that there are lots of black characters out there in the world that don't get used. On the former Blerd app site, I saw a piece of art by a gentleman by the name of Cody Conyers. If you run in the same circles I do, then you probably are already familiar with this person. Their handle is Stellar Avenger over on Twitter, so go give them some love. Point of the matter is, they did a piece that featured a lot of black X-Men characters in one spot. But breaking it down from left to right, I'll run through all these characters because I don't expect a lot of you to know who many of them even are outside of Storm and Bishop. But I'll start at the top with the character Manifold, and then we jump over to our strong lady of the group, Frenzy. We've also got the stalwart Bishop. We also have Gentle, and right underneath Gentle, and I would forgive anyone for not recognizing who this is, but this is Sunspot, because Sunspot is, in this instance, drawn to look more black than Marvel ever allows this Afro-Latin brother to look. And we also have the character Darwin, we've got Sync, we've also got what I believe is actually Marvel's first drag queen character in Dark Veil, who used to go by the name Shade. We have Prodigy, we have Oya, we also have Monet, we also have Storm, we have Bling, and we also have Dr. Cecilia Reyes, who is Afro-Latina, and last but most certainly not least, Triash, a character nobody talks about. So seeing this image, it just really pulled out some emotions in me. I mean, all of which were good for the most part, with the exception of one, and it's anger. Not at the person who made the art, because obviously I love the art. I think it was a fantastic job. However, it just reaffirmed to me that Marvel has so many black mutants in the X-Men's corner of the Marvel Comics universe that just makes me angry that they don't do anything with a lot of them. There's a reason why most people only think that there are two black X-Men. And a lot of times there's people who think there's only one, but people always say, oh, well, Storm and Bishop, those are your black X-Men, when in fact, there are so many more. As a matter of fact, there are so many black X-Men characters. There are X-Men characters that aren't even in this picture. Characters like Maggot or Tempo, Necra, Angel, Bedlam. There are multiple other black X-Men characters out there that aren't even on this list. We don't even have Bishop's sister, Shard, is not in this picture either. And once again, this is no shade to Cody, because, once again, I, as an artist, I get it. You can't just put everything in the picture. And if you do, it's going to take forever, and it's going to be a very frustrating process, no matter how rewarding that it is. But no, my anger is directed at Marvel, because Marvel has an opportunity to do something with these characters. And I know there were some people who tried to call me racist for wanting to have an all-black X-Men team, but let me be clear about something. Let's not sit here and pretend that we have never had an all-white X-Men team, like, ever in the history. And, like, I don't even really have to point out the original recipe X-Men, which was literally nothing but vanilla ice cream. I'll even point you to everybody's personal favorite. I mean, while yes, Storm is a part of the Jim Lee, Chris Claremont early era X-Men, the problem is Storm is the only black person on the team, and really the only person of color other than Jubilee. And while I know some people will bring up, oh, well, what about Psylocke? Psylocke is Asian, she's a Japanese woman. No, she doesn't even count, because the woman whose mind is in Psylocke is actually not Japanese. It's a British white woman who is piloting the body of a Japanese woman. So I don't even count her. And then you could probably make an argument for characters like Beast and Angel. And I'm like, no, just because they're blue, they're still white men underneath that blue. But yeah, I know some people don't like when I bring this up, and honestly, I don't care if you don't like it. The thing is, you should be mad. You should be mad that I'm talking about this, because in this world, in 2024, I shouldn't have to. I shouldn't have to advocate for, and I want to make sure I'm clear on this. I'm not just even specifically talking about having more black characters in the X-Men. I'm talking about just having more color in the X-Men period. But just going back and looking at what the mutant population was prior to the Genoshan massacre, which was about roughly 17.5 million mutants. You mean to tell me out of those 17.5 million people, the majority of them were white? Like, there weren't any Mexicans, there weren't any Japanese people, there weren't any Chinese people, there wasn't any African people, any black people, there was just white people. It was literally just white people. Okay, all right. Cool. Even today, and don't get me wrong, I love Jerry Duggan, and I know he can only do so much. But as Stan Lee so famously says, yeah, the comics you read should mirror the world outside your door, outside your window, and they don't. Even right now, with the current X-Men roster, which granted, there's been a lot of death and displacement of mutants as of late, but yeah, Sync is the only black guy on the team right now, and Kamala Khan, who is now a mutant, she's the only Pakistani person. It almost kind of starts to look like old 80s and 90s cartoons like Captain Planet, where, oh no, we can only have one black person. We only have one person from Africa. We have one person from India. Oh, we have one Asian person, but everybody else gotta be white. Sorry, just it's thing. I don't make the rules. I don't make the rules. No, it just, you can only have one of each, because God knows there's not a bunch of black people that exist in the world. There's not a bunch of brown people who exist in the world. But no, I think we should be seeing more representation. And yeah, it's not to say I want to erase all white characters, but I do feel that if we can have 80 bajillion white X-Men characters, I feel like we should have at least half of that representation, should be, spent on other people who exist in the world. Like, where's my indigenous love at in these comics? Where are the native mutants at? Not to say they don't exist, they do, but they don't get seen. Not everybody is aware that Warpath and Thunderbird are a thing. It makes me angry, not just for black people, but just for everybody. And it's also bothering and troubling to me that, people bristle at the idea of having an all-black X-Men team. It's the thing that makes the most sense, considering how many black mutants there are. Literally on this picture, there are roughly 15 mutants, black mutants, on this one picture alone, and I literally named off about half that number just off the top of my head earlier in this video of black mutants that weren't shown on this image. So yeah, I think it is safe to say you can have more. This is a call to action. I feel like Marvel is not going to do anything with this unless people hold their feet to the fire. If people don't hold their feet to the fire, hold them to task for this, no one's gonna do anything about this at Marvel. I don't even just make this a Marvel thing. I know X-Men is a Marvel property, but DC ain't much better. Actually, DC's pretty damn bad about representation. Yeah, sure, they'll try here and there, and they did go hard in the paint. Well, I mean, as hard in the paint as you could possibly go for something like I Am Batman, but I mean, really all they did was just put the book out. They didn't give it the fanfare that they would give to a normal Batman title with Bruce Wayne. So yeah, I don't want anyone to think that oh, I'm putting DC on the pedestal. Not really putting anyone on a pedestal. Really, no one in comics outside of black people do black representation properly. And I feel like that needs to change. We just had a book just very recently, which was Bishop War College, which had a black creative team and told a great black story with black characters. So I feel like it can be done. Marvel has the ability, the capacity to do this when it suits them. Do it again. And hell, hit me up. I'll write it for you. If you just think that no one out there can do it. But yeah, this is just me putting that out there. And You know, I know it's gonna get some hate. Hell, there's a lot of people who probably won't even watch this video just based on the nature of what it is. So yeah, it is what it is. But I think if you want to see that type of change out there, then share this video, pass it around, get the conversation going. Hell, just get the conversation going, period. And let's see if we can make some real change here. And I don't know, you let me know what Black mutants you think have gotten the least amount of representation. You guessed it, obligatory channel outro time. If you're not subscribed to the channel, consider doing so. Clicking that subscribe button and tapping that notification bell ensures that you get more videos just like this one, and you don't miss any of my other content that I drop throughout the week, plus my live streams every Thursday and Saturday. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure you click that like button, keep it plus ultra, and sound off in the comments.